Hey, what's up, dudes? All right, we're gonna do an update on the Cybertruck here real quick, and then we got SendLot Shoot Out next weekend, and I gotta put a transmission in this, and that sucks. But anyways, let's check out the Cybertruck real fast. Made a little bit of progress. I've been being dad during the week. Danielle's back to work, so I'm watching baby, so things have dramatically slowed down in the shop, which is unfortunate. Check out this sick Blazer. Dude, that thing's gnarly. Here, we can check that out real quick. So, here, pull the plastic up. Look at this thing. What, dude? This thing's badass. So, my buddy Justin Christensen, this is his dad's Blazer, and actually Justin bought my first pre-runner, which was an Explorer. So anyways, check this thing out. Look at this. All this is airbrushed on, and all the trim and stuff. How legit is that? It's pretty cool. Look at that. Sick. It's a sand drag truck, 4-wheel drive. It's built in Mexico. He said he got it and all the paperwork's in Spanish, but it's got like a horseshoe for the door handle. Oh, and you want to see one major bullshit thing with this that I hate, and it's like got me twice, is that if you open this door, so we'll go over what I'm doing to it. So I'm fixing a small paint chip right there. The fiberglass was coming apart from the heat with the hood, so I had to re-fiberglass this whole area. But we're doing pins and bushings in the doors. And I got that other door lined up the best I could. It's kind of got some jank work done it before, but it's okay. But you want to see the worst thing about this? So like when you're working on it, you're like test fitting doors. And if you have your hand right here and you go to shut the door, you smash your finger super bad, and it's horrible. It's so sick, dude. They did so much tin work on this. Like, there's a lot of little things that you don't notice until you really start like working on it. But they painted all wood grain and stuff. But here's like some small details. They filled the door, the window track. They filled all the window tracks up or whatever. Yeah, there's just like a ton of little things like that. And so the headlights, so they are bead rolled and then they airbrushed them. So it's like a sick little detail that I don't even know if I would have really thought of to do. But anyways, cool thing. Let's get to the Cybertruck. Yeah, seems pretty neat. All right, Cybertruck. Haven't gotten far. So the last video was we made the cowl piece here, but then I've moved on to the dash. I think since the last video, I really wanted to make an aluminum dash to help kind of save weight, and it was good practice for aluminum work. Because I got my TIG welder, got my Everlast 250 right over there, hidden in there. So it was a good project to work on. Still getting the hang of aluminum work. I like did this, you know. It's not the greatest, but it ain't the worst. I'm afraid to show it. Look, it's like kind of, those are like whatever. Welding aluminum on corners is pretty difficult. You can see where like I would get a good flow, and then I would just ruin it. But I wish I would have cut this little, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I'm gonna need extra room for right there, but I really didn't. I should have just cut that an inch, like in a quarter up, but it went like 1.5 inches. But these are super smooth. It fits together so nice, and I got seat sliders installed. So I've had the seats in here and all mocked up, and they fit really nice. These are just from PRP off their website. I don't know. I think they still have the sliders, but I don't know if they have these brackets. Last time somebody asked me about them, I went on there and looked, and I think they're out of the brackets. And if you're gonna do this, try to get the brackets. It saves so much time versus trying to make those brackets to fit on there. It's pretty slick. Saved me a good 4 hours worth of work, I'm sure, so probably worth it. Just kind of walk around this thing. So I'm getting real close to where I can start working on the body, because my main goal was to get a lot of the interior grunt work over with, so that whenever I start building the body for this thing, I'm not having to work around the body, obviously. But I did, okay, so since last video I moved the pedal, so the pedal was kind of far over, and I've got it all kind of mocked up in there. So one issue was like, how do you mount the back of this? So I just ran an angle bracket down to the sheet metal and then put some crush nuts in it. So I think this is going to be a pretty legit setup. Now, one of the issues is if I ever got to take this thing out, so I noticed that I'm going to have an issue with that. And one idea I had was to make this, to Zeusk this piece in, to where I could pop this off and then I could pull the whole thing out of the top there. But I don't know, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do exactly there. But yeah, dude, quick rundown Cybertruck project. Like I said, I've been dad lifing it up, so things are moving a little slow out here, but that's okay. Does anybody else need a spare Cybertruck dash? So I made this one and I royally messed it up. So I don't know, sometimes you just do dumb stuff, and I've done dumb stuff plenty of times. So there's a couple things. I'll show you what was wrong with this to make me want to make a new one. So one, I'm gonna run a tablet here for the digital dash. And I was thinking it would be cool to have the tablet come from the back. Well, one, I cut my hole an inch too big, like a whole inch. Like I measured this thing at least 5 times and I still cut it wrong.
No, you dumb! What? You don't have PhD in calculus!
So that's issue number 1. Issue number 2, as you can see, I started bead rolling here. So this was my start point right here. As I'm going around, you can see how the bead starts getting real fat. And what had happened is whenever I made this corner, my die slipped in the bead roller, and I didn't notice it until I got to right here. So then I like tried to correct it. And although it's not like horrible, I'm gonna be staring at this thing its whole life. And then, so with that bead being off, see the gap here? And it like pinched this real tight, so there's almost like no lip. Since I'm going to be staring at this thing, I really wanted it to be a nice piece to where there wasn't any mistakes on it, at least. I'm not going for perfection, but so I made a new one. So I got 2 dashboards, whatever. But on to this weekend. So SendLot Shoot Out Round 2 short course style. Yeah, I'm going to put a transmission in this. My buddy Jamie had one laying around, thank God. So yeah, I did a couple test laps and this thing started making a bunch of noise.
That does not sound good.
So yeah, man, I'm gonna put a transmission in it, unfortunately. Last year I had to put a transmission in it. Or not in it, I didn't have to put a transmission in it, I had to pull it out to put the slave cylinder in. If you've ever done a slave cylinder in one of these, you have to take transmission out because it goes around the input shaft for the transmission, and it's horrible. So here I am. At least it's the week before. Last year I had to do it the day before the race, which was terrible, which made everything a time crunch. And I was kind of stressed out last year, but this year hopefully it'll be a little more chill. Truck will be dialed and we'll be ready to race. So we got 9 trucks so far, so it's going to be pretty sweet. So for the specs for the truck, you have to have a door bar. Oh, and I added a passenger seat so somebody can ride along with me this year. And then I put dash cam in here. So I got front and rear cam to hopefully make editing a little easier. Well, that's not a spec for the truck that you have to have. All right, so to make the truck raceable, so if like anybody's interested in doing this, you have to have a door bar in. And as you can see, it's not the most like legitimate setup, but it's gonna work. You have to have a basic roll bar for the back of it that ties into the rear to keep it from collapsing if you roll over. So you have to have that. And there's some other rules that you can and can't do to your vehicle. So you're allowed to trim any amount of sheet metal you want. You are allowed to run any DOT tire size. Last year there was no rules on tires, and Ryan came up and honestly played the game right, brought some bogger tires and kicked everybody's ass in the mud, which was, you know, smarter not harder, you know what I'm saying? So he ended up winning. You can't do any modifications to suspension. Everything has to be shot or stock. As you can see, I got my Kings on, dude. What's up? And you can add bump stops. So you can have any bump stops you want. So I found these on Amazon. So those really help me because I'm a low rider. But if the track is dry this year, these fools better watch out because this thing is the corner machine, dude. I can straight up reverse drift this thing in the corners to where they're in higher trucks and they'll roll over. So if we get good track conditions this year, this thing's gonna be a ripper, dude, for sure. So anyways, that's the update. That's what's going on. So we're on a sick laser. Shootouts next weekend. Cybertruck's moving slow. Yeah, dude, we're gonna get this party started. Anyways, let's do this. Let's pull transmission. Whatever.
This is Phase Ed Music.
Dude, nice. All 4 exhaust bolts broke off into the header. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, I love it so much. I love it when I get dirt in my mouth and it falls in my face. Boom, transmission's in. That was terrible. I hate doing that. It's not very fun. I hate maintenance type work, especially on a truck that's completely caked with mud. And it falls in your face and in your ears and your eyes. But check this out. So this was a problem last race, was my vision. So I put a washer bottle right here and a button right here. Give me the juice, boy. So Co-Dog is going to be in charge of the washer duties, whoever that's going to be. I'm going to try to get Jeffrey in here. Danielle said she wants to go, possibly, depending on the baby. So, yeah, dudes. See you guys next weekend. Look at my shifter knob. Give me the juice, boy! Yeah!